Early in the morning.
What's going on, the people? It's your boy Cam Topical Juice, and we are back with an update video for you today. In fact, this is going to be a little bit different. I'm doing two stories in one. I'm doing a quick video on a 16-year-old boy who sadly lost his life to a 13-year-old allegedly. There's not much news on it, but I want to draw attention to it anyway. And secondly, I want to give you an update on the 9-year-old girl who was shot in the head in the East London drive-by shooting. There's been some developments around that. So guys, I'm going to get straight into this video. It's not meant to be a long video, just a quick update video for you. If you can like the video for me, it makes a massive difference on how the YouTube video performs in the algorithm. I'd really appreciate it. It takes half a second. If you like me, if you like my content, please consider pressing that subscribe button. It's free and you can always change your mind. Press that bell to be notified. And finally, if you want to support your boy, if you want to support this channel, if you want to support me personally, please do consider signing up to my Patreon. This week's video is all about the Boeing whistleblowers who sadly lost their life, and the next video that will be coming this weekend is all about how Hollywood protects pedophiles. So sign up to your boy's Patreon if you enjoy exposing the truth. So as you can see on your screen right now, it says boy 13 due in court over death of teenager in Glasgow. Corey McCrimmon, age 16, was seriously injured during a disturbance at Greenfield Park in Glasgow at around 8:15 p.m. He died in hospital on Sunday. Emergency services attended to the 16-year-old from Glasgow, who was then taken to Queen Elizabeth University Hospital, where he sadly died on Sunday afternoon. That's literally all they had to offer in this article, but luckily I found a bit more information on Corey. Corey had played for the Easterhouse Football Academy's 2008s for a few months. The registered charities say they are heartbroken following their former players' tragic death. A post on Facebook read, "Football brings people together and forms teammates and friends for life. Happy times, win, lose or draw, but in days like this, in days like today, when we lose a young person in a senseless incident, it's just unthinkable and hard for Corey coaches and teammates. So can't imagine what Corey's family are going through. We need to try and educate the younger generation." Many flocked to social media to pay tribute to Corey McCrimmon following his tragic death. One person wrote, "Heartbreaking, such a cruel world we live in. R.I.P. young man. Thinking of the family at this sad time." Another added, "R.I.P. Corey McCrimmon. Thinking of your family. Went to school with one of my boys. Such a cruel world we live in." Now guys, that's literally all the information we have on Corey McCrimmon. Now I want to say, first things first, rest in peace, man. Rest in paradise. What are we doing having to bury a 16-year-old? A 16-year-old in Glasgow. I don't know the context around it. I don't know whether it was gang related. I don't know the context around it. But in my mind, there's no reason why we need to be burying Corey McCrimmon. Now, I made this point in a comment section on one of my videos recently. Someone said that, it feels like all these things are happening more regularly, this, that and the other. And I actually said, yeah, statistically speaking, the 2000s was much worse than what we're dealing with now. Like, if you look at the stats, the murder rates from like 2004, 2005, that was the pinnacle of crime. But the difference between now and then, a few things. First things first, it's the age of the people committing the crime and the victims. Who's the victim this time? A 16-year-old boy. But who's the perpetrator? Who's been arrested and charged? A 13-year-old boy. Bro, 13. Do you know how young that is? Really cast your mind back to what you were doing at 13 years old. I was robbing dust caps, selling dust caps, trading them, you know what I'm saying? Getting up to no good, shoplifting, whatever, here and there, misdemeanors, you feel me? Certain other things, getting into fights and whatnot, but it wasn't like that. I mean, to be fair, only a year later did I get into a bit of a madness where it could have, see, even back then, obviously I don't like to talk about certain things on YouTube because I don't like to promote certain things, but I know for a fact, you know, a 14-year-old, 15 years old, you know, there was knife play then, you feel me? So either way, 13 is mad young, and I feel like it's the regularity and it's the consistency of it. It's the brazen nature of it. That's what's changed. It's the age groups. It's getting younger and younger victims and younger killers. But it's also the brazen nature of it. Back in the day, it was gangs getting into beef on blocks. Gangs getting into beef on estates. Yeah, madnesses used to happen on the roads in front of civilians, but not at the regularity and the consistency as now. It's so much more consistent where these gang activities are spilling over into the civilian world. You've got people who are getting caught up, who have no relevance to it whatsoever, are getting caught up in it, seeing it firsthand or being victims of shootings. I just want to say rest in peace to Corey. There's not much news on this. There's no real news on this at the moment. The 13-year-old is currently in court right now, so I'm assuming he's probably going to plead not guilty, but a 13-year-old guilty for a murder charge, he'll be out in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? He'll go to a young youth offenders. He'll be out in 10 years max. By 23, he's out again. He's got a body on. He's got a body on his conscience, and he's 23 years old, and he's been in the system for his pivotal years, teenage years. What do you think that boy's going to end up being? A lifetime criminal, a lifelong criminal, most likely. Anyway, man, rest in peace, Corey, and I'm praying for the friends and family on this one, man. I just wanted to shine some light on this story because there's been no coverage on it really whatsoever. And the second story that I want to talk about, and this leads into civilians being caught up in gang warfare, is this 9-year-old girl who was caught in the crossfire. Now, it turns out that it is gang related, and it's got nothing to do with black people. You know, I had people in my comment section saying this, that, and the other. Oh, it's your kind again, whatever. No, brother, that's not the attitude you should be coming with anyway. But outside of that, outside of the dumb trolls, this was to do with the Turkish gang war. This was to do with the Turkish gang beef. As you can see on your screen right now, we actually have a name for the 9-year-old. Her name is Lisselle Maria, and her family actually moved to Birmingham 2 years ago. So I believe they were actually in London for like a quick holiday, which makes this even more sad. But as you can see on your screens right now, it says real target of Hackney shooting says he wishes he had been shot in the head instead of little girl still fighting for her life in hospital. Beytullah Gunduz, 37, who has links to the Turkish criminal world, attended a restaurant in Dalston, East London on May 29th. He left and returned 15 minutes later, only to find 3 of his friends with gunshot wounds and an innocent girl laying on the floor having been shot in the head. The attack led to concerns that a gang war between Tottenham Turks and their rivals, the Hackney Turks, will reignite. Gunduz was previously the victim of a hit when he was shot in the neck by a Tottenham Turks assassin and has himself been cleared of organising another hit. He is reported as saying that the little girl is an innocent person. If these people knew I was there, why didn't they wait until I left and walked around the corner? We can be criminals, but this girl wasn't. She didn't do anything wrong. It is killing me inside. The waiting to know if she's going to live is too much. I am heartbroken. He went on to say he hasn't slept in 4 days and has been praying for her. The newspaper reported him as saying, I wish I was still sitting there and the bullet had gone in my head. One of his friends who was present was discharged from hospital the day after the shooting. Another called Mustafa Kiziltan, 37, was jailed in 2019 for his involvement in an acid attack. He was discharged on Friday. The third, who was 42, is expected to remain in hospital for 2 weeks, according to the Times. And this bit here is key. 5 years before the attempted hit, Gunduz was cleared of murder after being accused of hiring an assassin and leading member of the Tottenham Turks. But the gunman and the getaway driver were convicted of murder. According to the Times, the little girl's grandmother has been told she is on a ventilator after doctors were unable to remove the bullet on the first attempt. Now guys, this is clear evidence that it is the Turkish gang war that was responsible for this young girl being shot in the head. As the article says, that 37-year-old man, he was actually shot in the neck in 2020, and the only reason he didn't die is because the gun then jammed. You feel me? So you have to think to yourself, this man had an attempt on his life in 2020. He had another attempt on his life in 2024. So you got to think to yourself, what did this guy do to make them brothers that mad? And it turns out 5 years before the 2020 shooting, so 2015, it turns out that he allegedly put a hit out on someone else. Someone's actually been convicted of that. So 2 people, the murderer, the gunman, and the driver have been convicted of murder. That when they murdered a rival Turkish person, he was cleared of being the person to put that hit out. This man is clearly a boss. Do you understand this? And he's high level, high in the gang warfare. You feel me? That's the reason why he was the target. So in my prediction video, or in my first video talking about it, I made a prediction. I made a prediction that it was either a warning or it was targeted. Now the warning didn't make sense because if it was a warning, you'd make sure the shop is empty. It must have been targeted. But as he said himself, why didn't these guys just wait for the target to come around the corner? Why? This is what I'm saying. These criminals, they're stupid, bro. They're actually stupid. So instead, the guy's left. He hasn't seen him leave probably, but he may have seen people that he was with. So he may have seen, oh, you know what? I recognize my man as so-and-so's friend, so I'm going to shoot them up. So instead of waiting for the specific target, he decided to spray the shop willy-nilly, spray the restaurant willy-nilly, and hit who he hits. Hitting 3 people who probably were somewhat targets and a child. as you heard in that video just there, the video's a bit rubbish, the CCTV is very delayed and whatnot, but you can hear the gunshots ringing off. Like, it sounds like an automatic. You hear it go and spray up the whole restaurant. Guys, this is crazy, man. This is absolutely insane. But I just wanted to cover 2 videos in one, just to give you an update on everything. So I just want to say rest in peace to Corey. This is another senseless crime that didn't need to happen, now involving a 13-year-old boy who's lost his youth. He'll be out in no time, but he's lost his innocence. He's got a body on his conscience now. His soul's fragmented, his soul's broken, and he'll have to live with that for the rest of his life. I mean, for the next 15 years, he's probably going to think that's a badge of honor. But hopefully, at some point, he realizes taking someone's life, it ain't cool, man. It really ain't. And obviously, I want to be praying for him and his family, and I'm going to be praying for the young 9-year-old as well, Lisel Maria. So I really hope she makes a speedy recovery. She's still in hospital. She's still on a ventilator. They can't take the bullet out of her head yet. So it's not good signs, but I'll be praying for both of them and praying for everyone. So let me know your thoughts, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you lot in the next video. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay vigilant. Peace.